You know, I was looking around yesterday. People's reactions to stuff. And I happened to stumble into COD when I was, you know, doing my thing. And so for those who don't know, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 just released, right? I think I saw the future. So people are really conflicted because apparently like time to kill is really low, like it's fast. There's like no movement, etc. And so a lot of the streamers and stuff are like, oh, like it's just kind of like, you know, I guess like not as fun. And a lot of the casual players are like, nah, this is great. And so there's this great divide between high skill players who liked the movement text and whatnot, and then the casual gamers who are like, fuck you, you know, it should be basically stand still or play slow or fast time to kills, right? And it's like dad on his couch with a 70-inch TV versus TTV XXX357, you know, Wraith Gaming or some shit, right? And it's actually a crazy divide, and it's like another version of us versus them. And it's like, dude, nobody's like talking about it as like, oh, like why is which one good and which one's bad and for what reasons. It's just like both sides just seem to be like, fuck you to the other. It's like you're fucking shit. Like nobody likes you, and like you're, you know, just completely nothing like me. And I was like, holy fuck. It's such a weird, it's so weird how fast it became like an us versus them type of thing. So then I dug even deeper by mistake, and I bumped into the skill-based matchmaking discussion. And there's a clip of Tim on Twitter that went around about it. I don't know if you guys have seen this. Some company tweeted this out, but then but at least I have the Jake Luckies. He's like does like gaming news reports, streaming and stuff.
What it is, guys, but after streaming battle royales for majority of my career, I'll throw that in air quotes, that's what I really love streaming. Can I be completely honest with you guys? If SBMM wasn't a thing, I would stream multiplayer. SBMM, I've said this before and I'll say it again, man. SBMM is I dare say killing video games as a whole. I don't want to get on a huge SBMM tangent here. We don't have to do this, okay? But it literally.
So a lot of people were talking about this. This is from a few days ago, but like I bumped into like a different discussion about it.
Playing against Giga Sweats with no rating, and then John comes in with, you know, his binky in his mouth, and John's like, wow, you're ass. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm playing against guys that have like a 1.5 or a 2 or a 3 KD, and John's playing against 0.02.
Shout out to Kai.
So what people didn't understand, I think, about what Tim was trying to say was, putting away the skill-based matchmaking, it's the same thing I actually noticed with chat on my end. So when I play ranked right now, for those who don't know, when you play ranked, there's no ranked symbol in the bottom left-hand corner like in old Overwatch. And you come in, and I'm playing against a literal, like, 3 of 5 players on the other team are either contenders or OWL. And, like, they are phenomenally good. And I was just, like, not that great, and it's a really fucking tough game. You get Long John coming in, and it's like, wow, this dude fucking says he's top 500. It looks like my average bronze game. It's like, that's kind of what he's saying, because there's no ranked in Warzone or anything like that, because it's like, there's no big rank symbols like, oh, this is obviously ranked gaming. But it's actually, it's kind of become the norm in a lot of other games. Like Apex, for example, really cranked up its skill-based matchmaking in casuals, right? So that's why pubs, people have said this in the last few months, pubs feels like ranked. And I wonder if people know this. Do people know that there's skill-based matchmaking in Overwatch Quick Play, and that there has been skill-based matchmaking in Overwatch Quick Play for I think, almost all of Overwatch. Do people know that? So, like, if I queue quick play right now on my account, Flats, and I queue this, I'm right now rank 90. Lost a few games. I'm right now rank 90 NA. If I queued up, I'm going to play at least diamond players and above. Very, very, very rarely, maybe a very high plat. There is never anyone below that, though. That's why my queue times, even for quick play, are pretty long, right? But if I made a brand new account, I would play, obviously, I mean, there's a new system in Overwatch, so, like, putting that aside for a sec, like, you'd be playing new players. But let's say I wasn't playing the new players, you'd be playing against, like, the average silver to have low plat. And so if I play quick play, right? If I play quick play, I actually low-key have to sweat. If I actually wanted to, like, let's say I wanted to win every one. Let's say I actually was trying and I was like, I want to win a bunch of quick play games in a row for whatever reason, right? Let's say I wanted to farm TikTok clips or farm whatever the fuck, right? And every time I got into a game, I would actually be playing against players, or at least an average of both players, that it's like somewhat even. And so this is where you actually saw when like Seagull and Emong and I like all like stacked with like Jonas and we just play quick play. There was these people that were like hard egoing and like chasing us around, and like they weren't terrible players, right? And if they would made like meta picks, it actually was a difficult game. And so a good example of that was so what was I playing? I think I was playing like Doomfist or something for funsies, and this guy was playing Zarya and like kind of rolling, and they just started shit talking me. And I was like, you know what? My ego got hurt a little bit. I'm gonna go Zarya too. And then went like 26-0, just fucking destroyed the game. And then like everyone, the Seagull's memeing it, Emong's memeing it, everyone's memeing it and having fun. But I don't want to do that every game if I'm an average quick play player wanting to play quick play. I play ranked all the time because I enjoy that experience. But I think the conversation is like, should quick play in like casual games? I'm not saying quick play in Overwatch, just like in general. It's posing a question. I'm not saying I'm on this side. I'm posing a question. Should quick play have pretty intense skill-based matchmaking?
Five months.
So why should it? Because nobody wants to hop on and get absolutely shit stomped every game. But the other side of that is if GM players truly are the 0.01% or 0.1% or 1% of the game, you should almost never bump into them. So it's a tough question. It's a tough question to answer, realistically. I think that actually quick play in Overwatch works out with having it because it's not that strict. However, though, for things like Warzone, where they don't have a ranked matchmaker, there is no ranked, there is just quick play or just queuing up, then it sucks because you're not fighting for anything. You're not fighting for skill rating. You're not fighting for elo. You're not fighting for rank 1. That's what ranked is. It's a competition. It's supposed to be about that. But in a game like Warzone where everything is like, at the end of the day, you win the game just to win the game, right? You don't get anything crazy. Shouldn't the best players just play well and the players that aren't that good
flats.
not beat them? Like, basically, shouldn't skill win out? Now, that's a difficult question because everyone has the right to have fun and everyone should be having fun in those games. And actually, that's why I think the skill-based matchmaking in Overwatch is actually pretty good. But does it work for every game? I don't know. I don't think so. So, anyways, Cajun Man thinks the tier 1 for 6 months. Giant Tree thinks the tier 1 for 9 months. Galaxy Games thinks the tier 1 for 5 months. Ali Betty thinks the gift sub. Brave Little Spark thinks the prime. One hand, I feel like I personally play better when I have a better team around me, but I also don't want to get stomped every single match. I'm gonna just keep it a buck with you, bro. The reason you feel like you're playing better because you have better teammates is because the enemy team is getting overwhelmed and you have a lot of things. Like if you 5-stacked, right? If you 5-stacked all the time and you only played with 4 GM players and Smurf accounts, you would win every game. But you wouldn't every game because you're good. You'd be winning every game because your teammates are insane, right? Like that's like in a team game like Overwatch. Yes, your individual skill matters a lot more in 5v5 than it did in 6v6. However, though, the reason you're popping off so much harder with a bunch of good teammates is because now there's not one threat on the enemy team. There's 2, 3, 4, 5 threats, and it's like, oh well, tough. So why is my quick play queuing better than comp if they're both ranked? Well, I mean, I guess it depends on what you mean by the word ranked. Like the matchmaking, skill-based matchmaking is still there. It's a little bit looser. It's not as strong as it is in ranked. In ranked, it's much, much stronger. But in quick play, it's not as strong, but it's still there. It absolutely is still there. Why does it feel better? Well, there could also be the mental fact that in quick play, you don't feel like you're going to lose anything. Now, this is different for a game like Warzone or Apex Pubs or something like that. Like, you know, it's like those game modes were either always casual or used to feel casual. Overwatch never had that because we've always had skill-based matchmaking. But we have ranked as well, and if you want to go sweat and you want to go try hard, you go play ranked. But if you lose a quick play game, oh well, no big deal. You know, you just move on and go to the next one. So, if you're talking about like players taking it more serious, though, I don't really know if that's necessarily true. Maybe those standouts stand out a lot more to you, because in ranked you expect everyone to try, and then the people that don't try stand out much more. As opposed to quick play, you're not expecting everyone to be fully trying, and the ones that do try stand out more. Does that make sense? It's more of like you're more inclined to notice differences and more inclined to notice things that are like outside the norm than notice things that are within it, if that makes sense. I don't know, though. I think it's an interesting question. I think it's an interesting question on whether or not quick play in Overwatch should have skill-based matchmaking, and if so, which I actually agree, in other games like Warzone, where you have skill-based matchmaking but don't have a ranked mode, should that have skill-based matchmaking? Because technically, you're not playing for anything. You're not playing for rank. You're not playing for anything like that. You're playing just to play. So, why is there skill-based matchmaking in a game mode that doesn't have a ranking system? Because you're basically being punished for being good, right? If you're really good at something, and there's actually real-world examples of this, and people try to make real-world examples. They don't actually understand that there is real-world examples of this. So, for example, let's say you're a professional basketball player, right? Let's say you're in the NBA.
I am always happy when playing Overwatch because I turn off text chat, mute voice chat, use zero calms and just play ranked games as a support, Mercy being my main and im Diamond 1, Masters 4 so far. Hey,
do what you gotta do to play the game. I'm not gonna take that away from you, but, you know, playing with your teammates does always help. It does. You will typically win more games, but you have to also be able to turn off the losses in your brain, like the ones that are like shitty players, and that one sucks. So that one's not as easy. What was I saying? Fuck. What was I don't remember what I was saying before that came in. Oh my god, that's gonna piss me off. Real life examples, NBA. So if you're in the NBA, right? If you're in the NBA, you're fucking good. You're very good at basketball, right? You're very, 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 very good. So let's say you go to the local LA Fitness and you want to play some basketball, play some pickup games. Do you want to have to feel like you're playing an NBA caliber game every time you go down to shoot some hoops? Actual NBA players have answered this before and said no. Because you always get that guy who's like trying to prove himself, right? And this is actually what happens. Is you get that guy who's trying to prove himself. You see it in my videos, you see it in ranked, you see it in thing. You get some fucking asset who's like, their only goal is to target and kill you and kill that person. And in the NBA aspect, it's like some 23-year-old, 25-year-old who like missed out on like Division I college or whatever, and they're like, oh my god, there's a basketball player here at LA Fitness. I'm gonna fucking guard this dude like it's my life depends on it. And they're like super aggro, and they're like constantly like going to strip the ball away, and it's like dudes there to just fucking put up some shots, dribble around, stay loose, have a little bit of fun. You know, like he's just vibing, dude. He's not there to act like he's on fucking game 6 and he's down by 1 in the NBA finals. Like, dude, like, excuse me? Like, that kind of stuff is very different. And it's like, where do you draw the line? Where's the line drawn between when is skill-based matchmaking acceptable versus unskill-based or non-skill-based matchmaking? And is there a middle ground somewhere where there's like a very soft skill-based matchmaking where you shouldn't have new players against TTV sweats, you know? An NBA player could stomp you with their eye closed no matter how hard you try. No, there is actually legitimate NBA players who have spoken out about this. You know what? I'm gonna try to Google and find it. Okay. It actually works. It's actually not bad. So, let me show you a video really quick. This is Devin Booker, a actual NBA player in the gym, just trying to play some open hoops, some open games. Ready? That's him, by the way.
Hey, bro, we're not doubling an open gym, bro. I get that shit all season, bro. Come on.
I'm not gonna watch the rest of the video because I didn't watch past that point, and I'm pretty sure some words get exchanged. But point is, though, obviously he's an NBA player, obviously an exceptionally good player. But in the gym, though, just to like shoot around and have some fun, trying to stay loose, just get some practice in, he gets a fucking bunch of shit for 2 people coming over to double team and just like in a chilled game. Like, dude, that's annoying. Like, I understand it. Like, I understand it's like, oh, but like, you don't want him to win. But it's open gym. There's nothing on the line. Like, there's nothing there on the line. Yeah, does it suck if this dude is actually dropping 20? Like, if he literally hits every single shot? But again, it's the open gym, you know? It's not the best example because he was with other NBA players and they clowned on him for that. There's more examples than that one. Do you want me to go back and look for more just because you didn't like that one? I can't, like. But point is, though, it's like, it's annoying. Like, you don't want to have to deal with that all the time if there's like nothing crazy happening. Like, if it's ranked, yes, absolutely. If it's casual, why is skill not the number one, you know? But I also think in Overwatch it makes sense. So it's like, I'm talking games like Warzone where it's like you're not playing for anything. You're literally playing a casual game mode. Right? So if there's not actually a ranked experience there, why is there a ranked in the background? Does that make sense? That's all I'm saying. That's the only question I'm trying to pose, is whether or not if it's not a ranked game mode, why are ranked settings being applied? You know what I mean?